Honorable Men Discord. There's a warrant out for Tyrese Gibson's arrest. Let's talk about it.
How you see yourself is how you perceived. I see a man strong, gifted, head strapping, never down on his knees, begging. Gotta make a way, even in my darkest hour. Say the odds against me was new. I would never cower.
As always, welcome back to another episode. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscription button, and by all means, if you have something you would like to share pertaining to this episode, I'll see you in the comment section. So, Tyrese was not at home at the time when 4 of his dogs, which are cane corsos, attacked his neighbor's dog, and unfortunately his neighbor dog was killed in the process. So let's first take a look at this news report, and then we'll talk about it further.
And Fast and Furious star Tyrese Gibson is now wanted by the Fulton County Police Department for animal cruelty after police say his 4 large dogs got loose in Buckhead and killed a neighbor's dog.
According to police, they've asked Gibson to turn himself in and surrender his dogs, but so far he has not complied. Fox 5's Eric Mock joins us now live in studio. And Eric, you spoke with the owner of the dog that died.
That's right, and he's devastated. He said his small spaniel didn't stand a chance against these 4 large cane corsos, all of which can weigh upwards of 200 pounds. And what makes this pain worse for this owner is this isn't the first time actor and singer Tyrese Gibson's dogs have gotten out.
He was so loving. He was a little mischievous. He was a big kisser. Like, he would not stop kissing me for like 20 minutes every time I got home. And we were inseparable.
Harrison Parker says his King Charles Cavalier Spaniel, Henry, was the best dog anyone could ask for. Parker says on September 18th, he let Henry outside in the front yard of their Buckhead home on Woodhaven Road like he had for years. He says Henry was well trained and never left the yard. But after he didn't come back for a few minutes, he went outside to check on him and found the little dog dead in the driveway. He rushed him to a pet hospital, but it was too late.
Apparently he died very quickly from internal bleeding. He was crushed. I mean, the doctors were like shocked, like he had multiple ribs broken. I mean, it was horrible. Like, I really hope his suffering was quick.
Police say Henry had been mauled by 4 large cane corsos. Those same 4 dogs were captured on a neighbor's security camera across the street. The neighbor called Fulton County Animal Control about an hour after Henry was killed because she didn't feel safe with them pawing at her front door. Fulton County Police say the dogs belong to Fast and Furious star Tyrese Gibson, who lives just around the corner on Tuxedo Court.
There have been multiple calls of incidents of these dogs escaping over the past couple of months.
Captain Nicole Dwyer with the Fulton County Police Department says records show Gibson's cane corsos got out at least 3 times this month prior to the mauling. Animal control officers tried to cite Gibson for the violations, but he wasn't home when they stopped by. Parker is furious that Gibson didn't do something then to keep his dogs on his property.
He didn't care. I mean, what a jerk. He's just letting these dogs run around, whatever.
Captain Dwyer says she called Gibson after Henry was killed and explained he needed to surrender the dogs, but he refused. So they got a search warrant for his home and an arrest warrant for Gibson for animal cruelty, which they executed on September 19th.
He was not at the residence, and neither were the dogs. They had already been removed. So at this point, he is wanted for cruelty to animals, and we're asking him to turn himself in and turn the dogs over to animal control.
Dwyer says they've given Gibson a week to do the right thing.
We had spoke to his attorney that he was possibly going to turn himself in by last Friday, but that did not occur. And now we see on his Instagram as of Saturday that he's posting that he's going on a mental health journey and he'll be in Dubai until November.
She's worried if they don't get the dogs soon,
they'll get out again, kill another animal, or heaven forbid a child or someone just walking.
Parker wants justice for his best friend, no matter how famous the suspect is.
He didn't do something about it. He didn't take it seriously. And now a wonderful life is dead, and I'm never going to get it back.
We tried to reach Gibson by phone, and I left a message with his attorney, but we're still waiting to hear back. Now, Captain Dwyer says despite Gibson's celebrity status, they're going to treat this case just like they would any other animal cruelty case, and that's why they say it's so important for him to turn himself in and to surrender these dogs.
Yeah, interesting timing taking the trip out of the country. But your heart just goes out to this man who lost his dog, and you just look at the sheer size difference of those dogs. It really is.
It doesn't even compare. This dog was so small compared to these 4 massive dogs.
Yeah, there's no reason why they should have been free. And you can understand his heartbreak and his anger.
Exactly.
Eric,
All right.
thanks.
Thanks, Eric.
So unfortunately, this is a real sticky situation. For some of you, you might say it's not a sticky situation, but the owner who lost his dog clearly loved his dog. And clearly Tyrese loves his dogs also. As a dog owner myself, it's a sticky situation because I tried to put myself in Tyrese's shoes, and if my dog unfortunately killed someone's dog, I wouldn't be happy about it first and foremost. But would I give my dog up knowing that the authorities may put my dog to sleep? No, I wouldn't give my dog up. All right, so that's what Tyrese is dealing with, which is why he vanished. By the time they got the warrant and went to his place, he wasn't there. And for obvious reasons, it's because he knows that if he gives up his dogs, they're going to put it to sleep. They're going to put them to sleep. So I understand where he's coming from. But the only difference between me and Tyrese, if it's between turning myself in or giving up my dogs, I'm going to have someone, just the way, whatever he did to remove the dogs from the house, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'll turn myself in. And I just will never give up the dogs. Now, I don't know what type of penalty that is. I don't know what type of time I'll do. But you got to understand, Tyrese has the kind of money that I don't see him doing a lot of time. Because what I would end up doing is I would just give my condolences to the owner. And if there's any fees I have to pay for the cremation or burial of the animal, I would do that. I would pay for it. And I know it's not the same thing as having your dog, but if the owner wanted a brand new dog, I would pay for that also. Again, I know that's not a substitute for the bond that he had with his dog, but the last thing I'm going to do, and I'm just being honest, is give up my dog so that they could put it to sleep. That's just not happening. So Tyrese pretty much fled the country, and I'm assuming took the dogs with him if he was on a private plane. I don't know where the dogs are, but we'll see what happens with this situation. This is a very unique situation. I've never seen anything like this. Again, both owners clearly love their pets, and I myself, if I was in this situation, would not give up my dog so they could put it to sleep. I would just turn myself in, and then when they ask where the dogs are at, I would just say, listen, they're in a safe place. They won't harm anybody anymore, and that's it. And if they want to try to put me away for a long time, so be it. If I have the money and resources, I'll fight it. I'll do time for it. But how much time could they give Tyrese for the death of a dog? I don't know. If any of you that's watching this episode are familiar with this type of situation in these cases, let me know. Would it be a substantial amount of time for the death of that person's dog? And I'm asking this question sincerely. This is not any disregard for the life of the guy's dog, but how much time could one do? It wasn't intentional. And yes, Tyrese is the owner, so it's negligence on the owner for not, I guess, properly securing his dogs. Especially when you have neighbors that could attest that this has happened before. So it's definite negligence on Tyrese's behalf. And I don't understand why he doesn't have someone who watches the home and watches the dogs. You know, I don't know how that works out, but I would not give up the dog. Whether it's right or wrong, I'll be honest, I would not give up the dog. But I would turn myself in, and at the very least, I'd have an attorney speak for me and let the authorities know what I plan to do. And they can do what they do, because that's their job, and we'll see how it pans out. But I would definitely, again, have my attorney reach out to the neighbor and try to rectify as much as I can the situation financially so that they don't have any burden. It's bad enough that the neighbor has to deal with the loss of his dog, but I wouldn't want him to have any financial burden for that loss. But that's the best solution I could think of. What's your thoughts on this? Do you think Tyrese should turn over his dogs? If you're an owner of a dog or dogs, would you turn over your dogs, knowing that the authorities may put it to sleep? Would you turn yourself in? What would you do in this situation? And it's clear way before this, Tyrese has been going through stuff because he's been on social media speaking vaguely about going through what I could only assume is relationship problems. So it's clear that he does need a break to recalibrate and figure life out. And this is just an added strain on his life. But that's all I have on this episode. What's your thoughts again? I appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And as always, stay honorable.